Hi, our today's topic is negotiation skills, and we're going to talk about its definition, types, phases, what is Batna, weapons, ZOPA, techniques, dealing with personal attacks, difficult issues, and skills for successful learning. That's going to be today's objective. Negotiation is actually a process of communication in which both parties aim to send a message to the other side and try to influence each other. And it is not something which we people only use in boardroom suits or million-dollar deals. It is something which we use in our day-to-day life. For example, if we want to ask for both for pay rise, if we want to decide where we're going to eat with our friends, or discussing an important topic with the family, these all are the situations that involve negotiation. There are actually two basic types: integrative and distributive. In integrative, it's actually established in cooperation. Both parties believe they can walk away with the bit they want without giving up something critical and valuable. The dominant approach in integrative negotiation is problem solving, like multiple issues, information sharing, bridge building. But if you see on the other side, distributive negotiation, it's like involved in a fixed pie. There is only so much to go through, and each party wants as big portion as possible. I can give you an example. For example, there is a car, and there is a customer and a car salesman. They're not going to be interested in building a relationship or a positive impression. They just want to make the deal go through. There is a very famous saying of Victor Kam. He said information is a negotiator's greatest weapon. The more you know about the things, the more you know about the topic, the more you know why you are there is more chances that you're gonna win. Another one, when dealing with people, remember, you are not dealing with the creatures of logic, but you're dealing with the creatures of emotion. Whatnot and button are actually the abbreviations of worst alternative to a negotiated agreement and best alternative to a negotiated agreement. In most negotiations, the parties are influenced by their assumptions about what they think or are the alternatives to a negotiated agreement. Often the parties have an unrealistic idea of what these alternatives are, and they are unwilling to make concessions because they think they can do just as well without negotiating. And same like that, we need to keep in mind about WAP and ZAP. What is WAP? Walkaway price, and ZOPA, zone of possible agreement. In a walkaway price, it is important that you keep your walkaway price to yourself, especially if it is a significantly less than your initial offer. In If the other party knows that you will be willing to take a lot less than you are offering, then you will be negotiating from a position of weakness. If the other party knows or has any idea of your WAP, then it stops being your WAP and simply becomes your price. And if you're going to talk about ZOPA, zone of possible agreement, it means actually we will ideally end up with a price closer to their WAP and yours. For example, if we're going to discuss about a car, in like car dealing, both parties should feel good about the outcome, even though the parties might have hoped for a better deal, but both get a better price than their WAP. We need to make sure before before going to start any kind of negotiation with anybody about what now, but now, ZAP and about what now, but now, WAP and ZOPA, that we are prepared for that. We are polite, we are firm, calm. We need to make sure the time and place. If it is very noisy, if it's going to disturb you, if it's going to disturb the other person, if the time is not suitable, it is not going to work. And don't take anything personally. There are a few phases of negotiation: exchanging information, bargaining, closing, and reaching on consensus. So, what is exchanging information? It actually involves a gathering of information about the issues to be addressed in the negotiation. It is essential. It is essential to pay attention to all the phases of a negotiation. The exchange information and the establishment of bargaining positions are have to be like soft, hard, and interest, and you have to be open to, when you're going to exchange the information. Then the third thing is going to be closing. After all, about the art of the possible work without the third phase, anything that has been decided during these phases cannot be formalized and will not take hold. So, leading to the necessity for further negotiation or an absolute breakdown into a relationship. So, we need to make sure whatever we're gonna do in exchanging information, bargaining, we have to be soft, sometime hard, and make sure the things are gonna work for both ends, not only your own side, from for both ends. And then we need to close the deal. Now, the last one, reaching consensus. What is that? Consensus usually involves an agreement on key issues. It has different meanings to different people. To some people, it is like unsatisfactory compromise, like with unsatisfactory compromise with both the parties ending on a solution, which does not give them everything they want. However, there is a simple fact, is that you cannot please all of the people at all the time. There are a few very, very simple techniques of negotiation. If you're gonna do that with anybody, just make sure you know these techniques. What? You have to be prepared. You know what you're gonna talk about. You know what are your limits. You know what's your full price. You know what are you looking for. Second, attention to timing. If you're a morning person, the other person is a morning person, make sure the meeting is in morning person. You're gonna meet somebody, you're gonna decide something very important at that time which is suitable for to both of you. Then leave your ego behind. Don't take things personally. Don't take your ego with you. Just relax, be open, ramp up your listening skills. Listen to the person. Make sure you have enough sleep. Have some coffee. Listen to the other person. Make sure he's listening to you. And the place is not noisy. It's very silent, quiet, and calm. And don't ask, don't get, stick to your principles. Close with the confirmation. What are these things actually? You need to stick to your principle. If something which is pushing you towards your limits, then make sure you're sticking to your principles. Don't compromise on your principles. And if you're going to close something, close with the confirmation. You know what's the end. Don't leave the things for another meeting, then for another meeting. Just close the things with the confirmation that what you have decided, even though if you have to repeat what you both have agreed. Sometimes what happen in negotiation process when the someone is not accepting your views or doesn't want to compromise on your things, rather than making the things more easier for both parties, what they do is start making personal attacks and start making issues to distract you from the real topic. But if the negotiation will be more productive, to make it more productive, if you are able to focus on problems rather than on personalities, then it will work really well. Unfortunately, some of the parties in the negotiation may not take this approach. Sometimes you can avoid personal attacks by demonstrating from the very start that you respect both of the parties and their positions. A respectful opening sets a positive tone for the negotiation. I'm sure today's webinar was really helpful for everybody who wants to be a successful negotiator in your day-to-day life, because these are the most simplest tips which could be your skills for a successful negotiator. Effective speaking, effective listening, sense of humor, positive attitude, persistence, emotional intelligence, self-confidence, respect, patience, creativity. I hope you guys are gonna learn these things and practice in your day-to-day life. Thank you very much.